I said.
Wow, someone has such a clean. Why am I not surprised that Lynn's main screen on her computer is so clean?
Well, it's a laptop, so it's not my main computer, but okay, I'll take that. We're not going to do a lot of slides, so we won't want to make this interactive, but we wanted to just view a few things. So,
all right. Well, I'll welcome everyone. I'm Denise Massell, and I'm here at the University of Wisconsin in Madison. Lynn Voss is on here with me from Eastern Virginia Medical School, and we're going to talk about the various platforms pertaining or that one can use for virtual interviews, as well as some other things pertaining to recruitment. So welcome, and we'll go to the next slide. We just want to.
go ahead.
Okay, we just want to remind everybody that we have a very robust file sharing, Google Drive, I guess shared files, obviously is what it says up there. So here's the URL to it. And you can see here we have urology coordinator file sharing. So you guys can take a look for all of the various things in there. You see we have our committee meeting minutes, as well as some other information. And then if we go to the next slide, we'll see that the materials that we discussed in our last presentation, as well as today's slides, and I put together a little cheat sheet for WebEx, which is what I used for interviews last year, and I'll be sure to upload it there in the recruitment preparation file. But you can see the other files there as well, if you're ever interested in taking a look at what other documents are available there. All right, we also want to remind you, for those of you who maybe don't know much about this preference signaling pilot that the SAU and the AUA are incorporating into recruitment season this year. We just want everybody to make sure that they go to the SAU website, they take a look at all of the information regarding preference signaling, as well as the schedule and what flush day is and when it is and what it means for programs. The SAU also asked us to ask coordinators to make sure that your program director, your program leadership, your school's student services group, as well as your own students know about this. So I emailed my students here at University of Wisconsin. I also emailed our rotators, our virtual and in-person rotators, just to make sure that they had a chance to look at this. There are instructional videos for programs and for applicants. You can see it down here. I've already had students ask me questions about this. So we strongly urge everybody to take a look at it and have just, so that you and your program director have a good sense of what this means for your programs this year. If there is on their website information about the fact that if programs don't let the SAU know that they would like to opt out, you are auto opted in. So if you don't let them know that you want to opt out, you will receive the email on the date that we all receive emails with your signals. So you'll get a list of students who are signaling your program.
I'd just like to say, I can't imagine anybody not wanting to participate, but that's a whole nother story.
Right.
Okay, so.
And then here's the timeline. I printed this actually and have it right behind me. My head is probably blocking it, but here's a really important October 26th flush day. So maybe everybody wants to take a look at this so you know exactly what time you have to review applications when you offer interviews. And remember, when you offer interviews, you also send out your wait list letter and your we regret to inform you letter for those who you won't be interviewing. And then you'll have
this is a better schedule right here that have the times.
Yeah, so all of the times are here. And then the other thing that is highlighted here and in bold is something everybody wants to probably take a look at on the SAU website as well, that when you offer interviews to people this year, they must be date specific. Because on flush day, applicants are going to have the capability of canceling things that they've set up the day before. So you have to be able to, they have to have a specific date that they can accept. And then if they choose to cancel that date will open up for your program to allow others on the wait list, to offer to others on the wait list.
Now, one thing though, Denise, can we not, I think we can offer the date, but we give other dates and say if they want to be on the wait list for those dates.
That's
Yes.
correct. That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think Dr. Green had said that last year there were programs who were just offering all of the dates, and it was kind of maybe a first come first serve situation, and that they wanted to try to avoid that.
Right.
So unless you have anything else to say about that, Lynn, I'll turn it over to you.
No, I'm sorry. No, I don't. You did an excellent job. Okay, so I know that Thalamus, I heard a lot of negative things about that system that programs use, but I went online and they did have the top 5 video interviewing tips that I thought would be of value to us. So, I mean, things that we already know, optimize your interview environment. I'm not going to read all of that, but that's one of the tips. Test your technology beforehand. That would be a yes, and do a test run or a dress rehearsal never hurts. Proactively remove potential distractions. Like if you're at your house, you got children or pets or whatever, and I guess at work, same thing. Like right now, I have a sign on my door that says don't disturb. I'm presenting, so hopefully nobody's going to come knock on my door. And as we know, appearance is everything. I know I heard stories, or we heard stories, somehow people were interviewing. I don't think it was our group. It might have just been interviews in general of people that were just interviewing, like guys had a shirt on and shorts or something, and then they stood up to show everybody or whatever they did. So, I mean, obviously we know appearance is everything. I think they were trying to be funny. And then I love this one. It says go with the flow. Yes, that's a urology term if I ever heard one. But basically, yes, and we know that things do happen. So have a backup plan for, worst case scenario. And then obviously COVID resulted in us adopting the virtual interviews and video interviews. They were incredible tools. And as I highlighted, and best practices allow for an optimal experience. So that's why we're doing this today. So this was my sheet that I used for Zoom users. I put it in red because if you're not using Zoom, you could quickly put in whatever platform you're using. I think Denise and I looked at this and she's like, well, your instructions are similar to mine. So then I thought, okay, well then I'll just put, where it's Zoom, you could put in your platform. And basically my little tips were exactly like what I just showed about downloading your Zoom, check your computer, do a test run, make sure you're in a private lit place and be patient. And then I had these tips if you lose connection that you might want to have as a worst case scenario. If something happens, you can, your people will know quickly how to get back on. So, and then of course, if all else fails, you would arrange just to do an individual interview at some other time, or maybe later that day. Okay, so I came up, I researched and did a little search on the virtual interviews, and I came up, there is a recent article that came out on the do's and don'ts of the virtual interview perspectives for our residency and fellowship applicants.
For the coordinators. Yeah. They're talking about like the whole process.
Well, anyway, so I thought that was an interesting article. It's in the Journal of GME. And then the AAMC, they have a couple articles and tips on, interviews for the program directors and interviewers. Then this is one that Denise had recommended, the program coordinator's ultimate guide to select and video interviewing. And I put this here because there was a discussion yesterday and people wanted to know what the website was for the timer. So I thought I would just go ahead and put that on the slide and we can talk about that later. And then there's some videos. I don't know if you know who Chris Durkani is, I think is how you pronounce her name. But last year, this first video, I definitely viewed that and it helped a lot. And she has 3 other ones now that I found on YouTube. So you might want to check them out. She goes in detail about breakout rooms and the experience with Zoom. And I think, Stephanie, you need to do your own video. Stephanie needs to do a Zoom video.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Stephanie needs to do her own Zoom video.
Oh. Yeah. I think I did something. I think I did one by myself because I kept forgetting to record our Zoom trial test drives.
Well, if I can put it up there if you want to give me the link or whatever. I Googled it and didn't see that, so I would have definitely added it to our collection.
Okay, well, that's fine. Sure, I'll be glad to share it. Or maybe we'll do a new one this year during a test drive even.
Okay, all right, that's great. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right, so Denise, you want to take over?
Yeah, so before we move on to kind of a more open discussion, we just want to put in a plug for our future professional development session. And the one on September 15th, we are super, super excited about and hope everyone can join us for this. This will be at 12 p.m. Eastern time over Zoom. And Beth Payne Wushti, and I hope I'm saying this correctly, who is one of the founding members of ACURe, will be joining us to talk about, well, you can see the title here. This is My Profession to Shape Career Empowerment Through Self-Driven Activism. So really, this is professional development for you, for all of us as coordinators and managers. So, we can, I think Beth will probably go through the background of her career trajectory and how she has become an associate program director at UT Health San Antonio. So I hope you all can join us for that. She is amazing. The coordinators at my at University of Wisconsin are asking if they can join as well. So Beth was kind enough to allow us to invite some of my friends here. We are also having a couple Tag Me study group meetings. So we have one coming up September 9th, and the last one we had that Lynn ran was amazing. So if any of you are working on getting your initial accreditation or working on your maintenance of certification, please join us. We'll have another one in October. And then maybe, as we said, if we decide to run some more, or if Stephanie decides to run some more Zoom sessions, we will add those to our calendar and make sure that you're all invited to those as well.
Okay, so I'll be sending out a Zoom calendar invite for the September 9th in the next week or so. Be looking for that. Okay, so now we're getting to the fun stuff. So we just kind of listed a few things that maybe we could talk about. Breakout rooms, I think some of y'all might have done automatic versus manual, the time tracking, what works, what didn't work, stressors, lessons learned, what the overall option of virtual interviews, and then just what's the difference between the virtual and the in-person, like what are your experiences. So we were going to open it up. It looks like we have 32 participants, which I say yay. So what we were thinking about was just having us going to breakout rooms and kind of discuss, and they don't have to be these topics. It could be whatever you want to discuss, and spend some time talking. Okay. The poll, I just had a poll that came up, so I apologize. So anyway, so that's kind of what we're going to do. We're going to group you together. You're going to have a discussion, and then we'll have you come back to the main room, and maybe whoever your speaker could be could like go over like what things that you discussed or anything of topics so that we can learn from each other. So is there,
How long do you want everybody in the breakout rooms, Lynn?
I think we could do 20 minutes, right? Is that enough time? Or is that too long?
I don't know. I guess
What time is it now?
it's
Should we shoot for
20
20?
minutes.
11:20.
Yeah, we can shoot for 20.
We can do 20 minutes because I think we could, there's 30 people and we got 10 rooms. We could put at least a couple people in each room. I mean, I think that keep me out and maybe Denise, I don't know if you want to be in a room or not. Just keep me out and I'll be in the main room with you, Stephanie.
Okay.
You can put me in a room, Stephanie.
Who was that, Denise?
Yes.
Okay. So what we can do is we can let people return to the room anytime they want to into the
Right.
main room. Okay. And then I'm just gonna have it automatically assign people, just randomly
Mhm.
assign.
That's good.
And Lynn, you can just leave and come back here from whatever room you're in if you want. Okay, that'll just be the fastest, easiest.
Okay, that's good.
And we'll close them after 20 minutes if they haven't been closed already.
Okay.
All right, so are you ready for me to open them?
Yes. Ready.
I didn't know you could randomly assign. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. So you just learned something.
I totally, every time she opens her mouth.
Oh, but you know what I did? Because I set up all those rooms. It's going to be just like a couple of people in each one. Is that okay?
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right. So everybody, you should have been asked to join a room. Go ahead and say yes. I think it will make you join the room if you haven't done it automatically.
Doesn't want me.
I think you have to end the
It's
poll.
going to take a minute. Says it's in progress.
I mean, some people are definitely in them, so it's just.
Right. It's
taking-
taken a while,
Yeah.
as it does on interview day too. The applicants are sitting there. I haven't gone to my room yet.
We don't have that many people, at least on interview day. And so for
I know.
me, I just do it manually. I don't, and it's only 7 people at a time. So it's a lot faster. But this is 28 or 29 people. Why though?
It doesn't
It just
think-
says it's not joined.
not.
Do you think it's because we're hosts still?
I'm not host, but I
I
can't
think
join.
so. I don't think so.
It looks as if we all have to join, like,
Yeah, it says join.
right, we have to pick a room to join.
You have to pick a room. Okay.
Oh, it's not automatically assigning you. I
Okay,
thought it
so we
would
just pick a
assign you.
room.
Okay, so everybody just pick a room.
It's,
I'd say 1 through 6, right? Then there'll be a few more people.
Yeah, pick 1 through 6. Yep, that's good.
um,
I'm not getting an option to pick a room.
I didn't get me either.
Scroll down, you're gonna get, there's a box and it says breakout rooms. Scroll to the bottom and
No,
it'll say breakout rooms and say join.
no,
your-
don't have
No,
one.
mine just have one chat and nope.
I don't have that either.
I don't have it
All
either.
right, well, let me just assign everybody. I'll just do that real quick. It won't take that long.
This is an example of flexing and pivoting.
I'm going alphabetically, so just don't,
Right.
if you're near a person with your same alphabet, yeah. I've never used the automatic thing, so.
going quickly. Getting whisked away.
Can't tell from here where everyone's going. They're just disappearing.
all their evaluations and then trying to put it on a spreadsheet. And somehow there's a way to do it where it just will automatically.
Hey, Stephanie, are you there? Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie. Hi,
I
Steph.
SAU?
Yeah.
Right, is that what it's? Did it on Urology Match
Hi,
too.
Stephanie. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, are we the only ones back?
It looks like it. Are we?
We're like, oh, they've had enough time with each other.
Are we in another breakout room?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Where are we?
Only
Are
room
we?
is recorded.
I don't know. Hey, Jenny's back from Ireland. She's back in her office.
I figured, safe space. Not everybody wants to see that.
Well, I don't know. I thought that was a good one. That was a nice little surprise.
Well, thank you. Oh, but your mannequin de piece and your presentation, was that automatically in your presentation, or
I put that picture in.
I think it's fantastic.
Thank you.
Oh, did you know that there's a little girl one now too?
Oh, is there?
Yes, and she's, poor thing, she's straining in a squatting position.
Oh boy.
She's like,
have we all been in that position before?
Bless her heart. I know.
I have no idea what we just popped in on, but
Bless her.
Doesn't sound like something I really need to know about. I don't know.
Go with the flow picture. The go with the flow. She's saying now there's a girl too. There's not just boys, there's girls.
They have a little boy mannequin. Well, they've always had him, and they put outfits on him. And like they put her in 2 alleyways over next to a pizza place, and she's squatting and she's straining, bless her heart.
That little teen boy statue, I don't know if any of y'all been to Europe.
There is the little girl
There's so
one.
many of those. They are
Really?
fixated with peeing children. Like all through Budapest, I saw multiple. I thought that was one statue in Europe somewhere. No.
It's in Brussels.
But
Yeah.
there's some in Budapest too, because I was there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They're fixated with children peeing fountain thingies.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, I don't want to be the wet blanket here on the peeing children, but maybe we want to talk about interviews and maybe what everybody, sorry, Lynn, but I'm just gonna, because we don't have that much more time. We have another 15 minutes or so.
Yeah. Okay. So what group wants to go first? How about our group? Jenny, Susan, Amy. We gonna say anything that we learned?
You gotta
I will start.
Thank you. Callie, go ahead.
Sure. We talked about thalamus and what a disaster it was for us. We didn't end up using it. We asked for a refund, which we have not received. Surgery, our surgery department and emergency medicine also bought it. Did not get a refund. And we talked about breakout rooms and doing it manually or automatic. So.
Yeah, I spoke with, can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I spoke with Kelly. We were in the same breakout room. We kind of talked about thalamus, and I had told them that I just hopped on right before the breakout room started. I wanted to find out if anyone had heard of res rate and anyone had experience with that or heard about that. We're seriously considering using that this year. And so I just wanted to get you guys' opinions if you guys had any.
I said I had never heard of it.
I haven't either.
So I suggested that she keep Zoom in the background just in case.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I said to Megan that thalamus told us the same thing, that, oh, we can do this and this and this, and they couldn't deliver.
Personally, I think sometimes the simplest thing is the best thing. And some of these companies that are popping up to try to take advantage of a situation won't be able to deliver what they promise. And that just ends up making us look bad. I mean, they may go belly up at some point, but if they've got your money and you had a crappy interview day, then who loses, right?
Exactly.
I believe thalamus has been around for a long time because they approached us.
They've been around for a few years.
Still back in anesthesia, which is 4.5 years ago. And they approached us many years prior to that. And I think they were just specific to anesthesia. But I have a feeling this was just so overwhelming for them,
Right.
not to defend them, but I think they weren't ready for the numbers of people who, yeah.
Right. I think
I
they were
agree.
overwhelmed,
Yeah.
you know.
Exactly.
Yep. Yep.
They were
Exactly.
also, we took a meeting with them and they were also in a huge software changeover, switchover. And that's when we politely declined and said, you know what, thank you so much for your time. And we'll just continue on with Zoom.
I'm just going to say we did use Thalamus for urology this year, and we've used Thalamus for the last couple of years just to send invites and all of that. And I'll tell you, I definitely would use it for that over and over again. It's 10 times better than Eris when it comes to inviting with the calendar and all of that. Of course, I haven't used the calendar scheduler or Eris scheduler, and so I'm not sure about that. But we did use the video and through Thalamus this year for urology interviews. Yes, there was some technical issues on and off. Our faculty actually really liked it. The applicants never even saw my face or Patty's face. We had no interactions with them at all because it was just links that they would click on as they would go through. But there were technical issues. I'm not going to say that, but I do believe that if they perfect that component of Thalamus and get with the amount of programs that they hire or bought into it, if they can manage that, they will be good. I really do believe that will be a really good system to use. But
and I agree with you. I agree with you because I want to be seen because I want them to know who I am.
Yeah.
They're going to be dealing with me for five years. So that would be the only part that I would have a problem with. But other than that, if they could have given us a little bit more hope, I think I would have said, go, let's go. But I'm too new and this was thrown on me. Oh, learn Zoom and
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure exactly which one we're going to, I'm not sure which one we're going to actually use this year, whether we'll do Zoom or Thalamus again. And that's still to be determined, but we will use Thalamus for the invites and everything again.
So I used Zoom through Thalamus last year. So I used the Zoom link because, the same place where you can add the video part, you can add your Zoom link. I mean, I was beneficial to the point because we had a late interview. So most problems that they had to deal with were dealt before we got in. I mean, we still had little issues with them because they were really bad at answering emails on time. And if you needed sessions, my chairman wanted to have a meeting with them and they were not available. So I think that part was a bad. What I love is the scorecards. We were able to, you didn't have to create an Excel sheet to do the scorecards because they have a scorecard format that once you score your candidates, it just automatically placed them in a spot. So we were able to meet at the end and just use, that was the phenomenal part for me for Thalamus. But we didn't use their video. And then you're right about the scheduling part. Sending out the invite and then getting back the feedback from the candidates were great. The only thing we also didn't know that they sent out their surveys once you send out the invitation. Not sure why you would send out the survey as you sending out the invitation because I think the survey should go after you do the interview. So when I sent out my surveys after the interview, it never went out. It was just sitting on the box. And then so I was waiting for the survey to come back. When I reached out to them, they're like, no, it was supposed to be sent out with the invitation. Not sure, but I will agree with all of you guys. Maybe if they, maybe this year they probably would be able to do better, but I don't know if the hospital is going to buy in because a lot of people had complaints about them.
Gigi, did they want you to, and Kelly, they want y'all to sign a contract for multiple years?
No. I mean,
That's what they were trying to have us do.
So I'm not sure if the GME office did sign a contract because I am telling you guys, if you heard my GME director last year, you would have thought Salamis was like coming straight from God. The way she was talking about them, it was just like, she was so excited. I mean, she was beyond excited. She's like, if you don't use this, you're not gonna know. Like, this is the thing, like it's gonna be this. And I think as the feedback was coming back for like how bad they were, she, so I don't know if there was a contract like in terms, because she really tried to convince all of us, like 24 different programs at Lenox Hill to use it. So I don't know what happened in terms of finance, because everybody, like they were gonna take money from each department, from directly from GME with the finance department. So I don't know the end of how financially, how much we were responsible for. But yeah, a lot of people don't want to use them this year.
We paid separately, as I sort of mentioned, and the internal medicine program director was on board from the beginning, and she's the one that said, we're using it in that department. But like I said, surgery and emergency medicine, we're like, we can't handle this at the last minute, all these problems. So that's why we ended up with Zoom.
Well, so is it an institution thing that your institution, or is it just because like I know like there's a department within our institution, OBGYN, they all use that. That was what I think they had to all use. They signed into that. But I didn't know if it was an institution thing.
Our institution purchased it.
Okay.
Because it's our institution bought it, and all programs would have the opportunity to use it if they wanted to.
Okay.
I haven't used it just because actually they recommended to me that our program was small enough that they didn't think it would be that beneficial for me personally, just because of the number of people we interview and the number of candidates and all that.
Right. So, I mean, one thing that we talked about in our group was like the time, like for me, like in our program, we have never done interviews where they're timed. Now we're in that, we're virtual, you are timed. And my group did very well. And my lesson there is that that's the way we're going from here on. Before they just like to be kind of laid back when it came to interviews as far as timetable and given a set schedule. So that was one thing that I think became a positive for us, for sure. And they did very well. So I'm all about the time. And then the time tracker that Stephanie shared with us, it was funny when she first introduced, I'm like, what do we need that for? And then I quickly realized, oh my God, I know why now. I mean, it was like, it didn't take any time. And I actually had mine set up on an iPad. And then I had my phone in case anybody needed to contact me. And I had my laptop because I was not at my desk. So those were my devices that I used, and they work like a charm.
Yeah, and I will put that, actually, the link to that in the chat box if anybody wants to look into it. Oh, I just sent it only to Shannon though. Sorry, I got to send it to everybody.
So obviously we did manual, and I don't know if other departments did automatic, but we did not do that.
We did, I automatically did, well, it wasn't automatic removal, but we did have time. We've always had timed interviews, but we stayed on schedule because no one could go over, because I pulled them manually out of the room when my timer went off. And so we got a little bit behind, like a couple of minutes. But for the most part, we very much stayed on time, and I loved that. It was great.
Yeah, and if you've got a break like in the middle of your interviews, you can kind of catch up too. So we did that a lot. Like if there was, if you were a little slow or whatever, then you could catch up. I'd say that applicants, do you really want a 20-minute break? How about 5 minutes so we can get going? They go, oh, yes.
Right.
And then you just kind of catch up.
Right. Yeah. And the thing that was great for us with interviews in virtual is that we got to give the faculty an hour lunch break. So they had plenty of time to kind of recharge and do whatever. And in the past, we would do all our interviews and then we would have lunch, and it would be like 2 o'clock and everybody would be really tired. And the food, by the time that all the faculty would get there, would be getting cold or picked over or whatever. And, so anyway.
So are you saying that you had a full day of interviews?
Well, we had a whole day for the faculty, but the candidates only spent about 2 hours.
Okay,
Because
gotcha.
we
Okay.
broke the day up into 4 sections.
Okay.
And I actually, each of the candidate, once they had accepted our invitation, I would let me know if they wanted a morning or an afternoon session, because I knew some of them were trying to coordinate having more than one interview in a day. And so I was able to accommodate them. I told them I'll try to do that. I can't swear, because if everybody picked the morning, somebody's got to have the afternoon. But it worked out, and it usually does, that it pretty much everybody got what they wanted. And they really liked the fact that they only had to be there for a couple of hours.
We did the same thing. And the other thing for us was we looked at Pacific and Eastern times to see
Right.
where everybody was. That helped us a little bit too with the
Right.
scheduling.
Right. Because obviously someone who's in Pacific time zone doesn't want the 8 a.m. Eastern time zone interview.
The one thing I'd like to say that came from a meeting that we had yesterday that I like, it's a great thing that I wouldn't have thought of, is when you're sending out your invitations and your wait list letters. We sent rejection letters, and Stephanie said yesterday they did not. Everybody was on a wait list, and I thought, oh, maybe that's the way we need to go. I'm going to definitely tell my program director that, because I think that's great, because then that way your list of other options are a lot greater.
Right. Yeah.
Not that you're going to really want to take those rejection people, but you never know. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, so I think that was a great thing that I learned. So I don't know, my no letters may go away. They may be a no anymore.
So I'll jump in. Demi got cut off, if she is still on the line, but she was telling us something that her residents do, and I think you guys would all be interested in this. If you want to unmute Demi and tell us about the
Sure.
fly, I think it was.
Yes, so what we did was we had the urology cafe. It was a lounge where the applicants, we did like 12 a day, and then like 7 would go into the breakout rooms, and then 7 would stay in the cafe. And so we had 3 of our residents go to the Fly. I don't know if anyone's been to New Orleans, but we have this, it's on the river, it's called the Fly, and that's where the residents hang out, and they fish, or they play soccer, they bike, it's like a biking trail. So we had 3 of our residents there. It was a beautiful sunny day both days, and they had their picnic blanket laid out, and they answered any questions in the lounge, in the cafe lounge, doing the switching. They were there full time.
Mm-hmm.
So we had that open the whole time while we were switching the rooms around for the interviews.
Demi, how'd y'all manage that with an OR schedule?
Well, we only interview on Saturdays.
Oh, okay.
We do too. We only interview on the weekends.
Yeah,
Saturday.
we don't do weekday interviews because of the OR schedule.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, that I asked Jimmy about that question because I was wondering, because I was going to have my residents talk to the applicants in between the interviews. But sometimes our interviews go back to back to back, and I was concerned if I put the residents in there with me, will they get long-winded? Then I'll have to interrupt them constantly and say, I've got to cut y'all off. I didn't know if it would work well like that, or should I have them at the end of the interview day and offer the applicants, to talk to them at the end for any final questions or whatever. How did y'all manage that?
We actually did a happy hour the day before with the residents only.
We did too.
We did a happy hour the Friday night When we normally, before we had the virtual interviews, we would have a dinner the Friday before Saturday. So instead, we did a happy hour where we sent them an email and said, hey, join us for happy hour, bring your favorite drinks. And so they had their wine glasses or their beer and had, sessions just one-on-one with the residents.
Well, I did that too, I think pretty much all of us do that. But I know some people had, the residents' own interview day there in a room.
Right, yep. We did too.
I'm just wondering, how does that work? Because, we have time in between the interviews, but a lot of our faculty wanted to just move along. They didn't need 15 minutes in between or 10 or 5 or however much it was. I just don't know how that would work.
Just get ripped out.
They
just get ripped out when the room ends, just like they would if they were in an interview with a faculty member.
Right. So, but what I did is the 7 that's interviewing, the first group, that 7 is moving through the 7 rooms. And then I have the other 7 there. They have the option to stay in the lounge and talk to the residents or take a break or whatever. But if they have questions, they could have spoken to the residents in the lounge. So they're in groups. So the second group, after the first group complete their interview sessions, then the second group is now moved into the lounge. And that's their option. They can stay there and talk and interact with the residents, or they can go take a break.
So another thing that we did is that we usually try to have our interviews on Grand Round days. So they would attend Grand Round with us between 7:30 and 8:30, and then from 8:30 we'll do the presentation, the departmental presentation, and that's the same thing that we would do in person. So we moved them into the room, and then they did the whole shebang, introduced everyone in the department. Then because we did it in a group of 25, I think, 25 per day, and so 25 per day. So the first group, while one group was being interviewed, they were told to come back in an hour and a half. Like they didn't have to wait for the resident, they just had to come back and log on at such and such time. Not only that, I told them that, I will send them an email reminder, which I did. I sent them an email reminder. It says, you're gonna need to log on about the next 15 minutes. And so, and then, we went through rooms, and then they met with the residents and ended it with well, I had so many different waiting room, because I had a room that people who were coming in, I just put them into that room, said waiting for interview. I put them in that room, and then people who were coming out of the interview rooms, I put them in another room just so we could do a wrap up, like the wrap up room. So you can't, I think with Zoom, it gives you so many chances to be so creative that you can create so many different ideas as you go along, right? And make it work for you. So I think if you want to do something like that, but giving them, I had everyone start at the same time and end at the same time, and give them a same grace period. I didn't have to remove anybody from any room, but they were just either you can take yourself out of the room. You had the choice to either go to the waiting room or you come to me and I can put you in the waiting room, whichever way. But I think this year, it'd probably be much easier if you were to just create more rooms for yourself.
Lynn, is it okay if I share my screen with y'all?
Sure.
Okay. This is a copy of my one of my afternoon interview days. So we had over here, we had 2 residents together. The break room was filled with myself and resident spares coming and going. But these are the people that were were interviewing. So if Dr. Hartzell, if Dr. Rittenauer was running late, I always had Dr. Hartzell in the room. Or if Dr. Lay was running late, I always had Dr. Loritz in the room. The only people we didn't double up was the PD and the chair. So, and of course, Dr. Oken, he's the site director here. So if they took turns, of course, once they're in the room, two attendings to one candidate, or 2 residents to one candidate, and then they wanted specific, break times. So that was just what we did. It worked, it seemed to work fairly well. I mean, it did work well.
I had a very similar one.
Me too.
You have a 5-minute break in between each one of them.
Yep.
Well, that's what I had too. I just didn't know how much time the residents would be able to have with them in that 5-minute break.
I kept the residents lounge on the breakout rooms. So that residents were in there all day long and the candidates could go in there, and then I would pull them out like a minute before they were ready to go.
Right.
And I'd say, okay, this is who you're going to go interview with. And then I would move them over.
Okay, yeah, that's a great idea because that would kind of work better for me.
And it would at least, and a lot of people, a lot of the students said, well, you know what, it was really good that you gave us who we were going to meet with. Because I don't tell them ahead of time. So just 1 minute before, hey, this is who you're going to meet with next.
Y'all didn't offer up your schedule? I
No.
gave them a copy of the schedule as
did.
well as
Yeah.
emergency
And
stuff.
I send them the schedule the
I
day
sent it,
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. I
No.
sent them a schedule of who they would meet with and the times that they would meet with them.
Yeah.
Because they need to
And then-
know, they'll go looking to see what's about that faculty person. too.
Right.
So.
And then on Telemus, you are able to put the faculty that they're gonna meet, like you can put them in the room, that they were able to see, the time slot of the meeting, like who they're gonna meet with. And then there's like I had a little bio for each faculty member that they were able to read on. So it kind of worked out.
I
Yeah,
think
I
that
did the same.
I think the 5 minutes in between each interview also gave the candidate that time to, if they go into the resident room, faculty lounge, resident lounge, they at least could get up and stretch and like get a glass of water or maybe go to the bathroom. So that 5 minutes in between, I think I heard, I got good reports on that.
I told somebody to fix their tie as I was moving them into the other room. I'm like, all right, fix your tie now and take a deep breath.
Do
Now,
y'all
Kim,
interview
with
for,
our residents, what we did was we actually had like 3 different breakout rooms with 3 different levels of residents. And each applicant got to rotate through each one, and they got one-on-one with them instead of like a group. And they liked that because then they could ask their own personal questions. They didn't have to wait for someone else or do whatever. So
Yeah.
that's what we did. So they never like were in a lounge anywhere. They were always with like the chiefs and talking to them. And then they went to the 3 and 4s and talked to them. And then the 1st and 2nd years.
that's the kind
Yeah,
of how
about
I
Chief's,
do it the night
interview.
before. I set up the break rooms and I have certain people in each break room. Each break room's titled something. They talk about that. And we just rotate, a few of them through the break rooms and they all get to talk in smaller groups. So everybody's not on one screen together talking over each other.
Right.
I think that was all. What else did we talk? We talked, Denise wanted to talk about the WebEx. She used WebEx versus Zoom.
Yeah.
She wanted to know if it was because it was easier for her because that's what she's used to.
And I was afraid that just because of a little bit of feedback we got from, well, essentially one of the candidates that, they're more familiar with Zoom and they were worried about WebEx. I just chose WebEx because I was comfortable with it. And I'm just wondering, what should I choose what I'm comfortable with, or should I choose something? Yes. Okay. I'm going to stick with that. So thank you for the head nod. And I can use Zoom.
So easy.
Sorry.
Zoom is so easy, and most of them know it.
Yeah, but WebEx is no different.
Yeah, but if you've never used WebEx, then you have to download WebEx, and you're not sure how it works as the student. But Zoom is so easy. You go, Denise. Though you make them do.
I'm probably still gonna use WebEx.
We're not
1 out of 30.
She used it, didn't have any problems with it last year. So I say go with it again. You didn't have any
Exactly.
problems.
And it can show that your candidates are adaptable, right?
Right, exactly.
Right.
It can be
Sorry, y'all. I've got
if-
to text my son back. He's at college and he won't leave me alone on his breaks. if you need something right quick. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I forgot to send the externs that we have this month, the map to get to my office. And I sent them an email that said, come to my office around 7 o'clock on your first day. And come to find out, when I got into my office at 6:30 that day, I had a couple of emails from them going, where is your office? But you know what? They all managed to find it. And so I told them, that is the first test I had for you.
Yes, you can't find your way to my office. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean, but the thing is, it's not that easy to find my office in this institution without a map.
Yeah.
Me too.
And so I was actually impressed that.
But you should be able to find the Department of Urology, and once you get there, all you got to do is say, I'm looking for Shannon. Yeah. Everyone knows.
Yeah.
Like, to find the department, they should be able to find that.
Possibly, yes. Although, you know, we got 3 towers. Like, I know one of them actually went to the wrong tower and I think called me. And, you know, but anyway, the bottom line is they can adapt. So, you know. And we
now, Shannon, are they coming to your house?
Me?
Yeah. You're working from home.
Last night, Dr. Fuchs, his wife is in Boston with his daughter, helping her move. And he's been every night at somebody's house having dinner. I thought maybe his wife set up a bunch of, so, you know, because Lord knows he can't feed himself if she's not there. And so he was at someone's house. And I asked him, I said, did Katrina set all these dinners up for you? And he said, no, these are just my friends. And he's like, you haven't called. I was like, what? And he's like, you haven't called to have me over for dinner. I'm like, you would come over to my house for dinner. And he's like, sure. And I'm thinking to myself, no, you're not coming over to my house. Hell no. This corner right here is the clean corner. No, it's not really that bad. It's not really that bad. But I just thought that was funny. Like, I wonder how many times I've invited myself over to their house for dinner. Probably a whole bunch of times. But I've never had anybody just invite themselves over to my house for dinner. Especially not my boss. Yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah, that's how rumors get started.
I was like panicked for like 5 seconds. I was like, oh, shit, the kitchen is a mess. I was like, wait a second, you're not coming over here.
Yeah, I'll order pizza and beer and you just come on over.
I don't even think my oven works. Like, it's just there taking space up.
What do you get, takeout or
every
delivery?
place comes with one.
For the last year and a half, I have spent a ridiculous amount of money on DoorDash. I'm not even going to kid you.
Wow.
That's why I'm 50 pounds heavier too, by the way. Even though I try to choose, healthy food and stuff. But if you eat out at a restaurant, there's just extra shit in there. I don't know what it is, but there is. There just is extra calories and processing and whatever. And it's just complete and total laziness. And also my absolute hatred of grocery shopping. I hate
grocery shopping too. That's funny.
Look, I will
do
all your chores. I love doing laundry, especially someone else's laundry. And I love cleaning someone else's house. But I hate grocery shopping. And I don't know why. I've always hated it. It's so time consuming.
I do too. And that's why the best thing that happened with COVID is me learning that Walmart had an online app. You can order your groceries and pick them up and they put them in your trunk and you never have to get out of the car. And I
have not done that
I don't have
all of COVID.
I had not shopped at Walmart and I can't even tell you how many years because I despise them as a corporation. However, for my own personal, selfish enjoyment and money savings, because they don't charge extra like Publix does, I use them now. I'm sold. And they treat me right. Like if
I don't have a Walmart
in there, they give me my money back. No questions, no hassle. If they short me on something, which doesn't really happen often, but if they have, they give me my money back. No hassle. It's like so easy. The only thing they can do to make me love them more is come put the groceries up when I get home with them.
And you don't have a Walmart near you? Is that what you just said?
That's crazy.
Wow, we got one on every corner.
Yeah, really.
I would have to get in my car and probably drive for at least 45 minutes probably. to
Wow,
Part of
that's,
town that would have a Walmart in
that
it.
sucks.
That's,
We
yeah,
have
that does suck.
Target. Does Target do the
That
same
and
thing?
dollar stores.
Target does, but I don't think their prices are as good. But you can join a thing and they have free delivery for like, if it's at least $35.
Target does?
Delivery,
Oh,
yeah.
delivery is my jam. If I can just never leave
Because
this
my
house.
daughter does it. She has a like some membership thing, and so she'll get a Target order delivered.
Feels so-
Sometimes she'll ask me, "Do you need anything?" so that she can get up to her $35.
Yeah, the
I go to
$35
three
limit.
stores,
Huh?
maybe four. I go to Walmart first. I go to BJ's, which is wholesale. I go to Wawa for my diet iced tea.
Oh, wow.
And I go to sometimes Acme. And it's not Acme, it's Acme. And then I come home, I'm done in 3 hours.
3
But
hours? No, no.
Yeah, I like to walk around a little bit. And
Oh my
usually eat
gosh.
The
I
3
hate
hours,
that.
You lost me at 3 hours.
Takes me like 30 minutes to drive to Walmart, get them to put the stuff in my trunk and get home.
This is
And
what I'm thinking. Maybe I just need to drive into another city because, again, it's money. You say I'm going to save money.
Well, that's what I do. I go to Jersey because I live in Philly. I go to Jersey because Philly has a sugar tax. They charge, it's like half a cent per 8 ounces of any drink that has sugar in it.
Stop! I would be dead.
It's ridiculous. But it's happening here.
I'm like on a 99% sugar diet. Oh my God.
It's very expensive. So
How rude.
if something is like, I can get diet iced tea at Wawa for 2 for $4 in Jersey, but if I come to Philly, it's 2 for $5.50. And that's half gallons, not
But
even a gallon.
why do you have a sugar tax? Is there like a sugar
Because our
problem?
mayor wanted money for his stupid budget shit.
Oh.
Sorry.
He
And
just figured everybody needs sugar. We've already taxed every gas, cigarettes.
Exactly.
We need to do
well, and they probably consider sugar like something that we don't need as much of. Right.
That's
So
right.
They're wrong.
So even the
my fault.
protein drinks, I drink Premier Protein every morning. It's got 1 sugar in it. That's got it. They charge for that. I won't pay it. I'd rather go over the bridge to New Jersey and buy it.
Hold up,
Yes.
hold up. Wait a minute. You mean if you buy a cup of coffee and you put a Splenda in there, that's going to cost you?
No, that's different. Coffee is different.
Okay.
If it's
if I
already
went to the Publix
espresso,
and got a bag of sugar, they're gonna charge me extra?
yes.
What up?
Yeah.
If I go
I
to
think New York has this sugar tax too. I thought California did too.
Publix.
Oh, honey,
Okay.
but we have the highest state tax in the nation. So
Okay.
you come at me with one more tax and I'm, no.
we got no state tax, but we do have sales tax.
Yeah, we have that.
You're in
We
Florida,
have
right?
sales
What
tax
is-
and state tax. This is bullshit.
I lived in Florida for 5.5
Oh.
years,
Mhm.
from 2009 to 2015. I worked for the state of Florida.
I call it COVID right now, though.
Yes, I understand that.
Yeah.
What?
Understand.
COVID, yeah.
COVID.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad to be here though.
But yeah, Kelly, so they charge you for grocery store sugar and flour and stuff?
Everything. Yeah, it's crazy.
Up.
Yeah, so it's very expensive. So it cost me $5 to go over the bridge once. And I'd rather spend that $5 and give it to New Jersey than to the city of Philadelphia. If I go out of the city to the suburbs, I don't have to pay it either.
Hmm.
Just the city of Philadelphia.
Wow.
So, and then he lied and said, oh, it's going to help the children. It was supposed to be for pre-K, to help kids for pre-K food and stuff. Only like 40% went to that. The rest went to other stuff that it wasn't supposed to. So I'm standing on my principle. Wawa.
have a faculty member who loves Wawa like so much you can't even believe that last year we had this little thing the night before interviews, and every faculty member was asked to like send me a couple of personal pictures of themselves, and then we did a slideshow, and I would show those while they were kind of talking for like 5 minutes. He sent a picture of him at the Wawa grand opening and another picture of him at Wawa, or a sandwich he bought at Wawa or something. He loves
When I
Wawa.
moved to Florida, you know, Wawa's been around New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania for years. They actually went down to Virginia.
Yep, they did.
And then all of a sudden, they're now in Florida, but they're not in between Virginia and Florida, which is very weird. But it's like a Circle K, but I like it better. Now they have Sheets. That's another kind of store, the same thing. You'll probably never get it in California because it's supposed to be fresher.
I'm jealous of Publix. I've heard.
Yeah.
We have
They're
Ralph's.
expensive.
Ralph's.
Publix is expensive.
But
But Acme is the same way.
They're supposed to be really good.
They're not bad.
And there's nothing like that out here, so don't know.
It's the bread. You have to have good bread.
Y'all have an abundance of Trader Joe's. I mean, we need
Now, Trader Joe's. I can walk to Trader Joe's from here.
we need another one. We need more than just the ones we have.
I mean, I have a Trader Joe's
Heavens
I
to
can walk
Betsy.
to from my house. That's where I like to shop, and it's small too. That's why I like it. I mean, I don't like going in this big, huge, massive, and the prices are good too. I mean, it's just
Indeed.
that you can't always find the same stuff because they buy in lots, and then when it's gone, it's gone.
Well, during COVID,
Ridiculous.
our Trader Joe's had such a line of people to get in the store, and I would ride by and go, I'm not standing in that line. I'm not standing in line for anything,
hour,
especially
you
an
get in
hour
there.
outside.
It was
I want to
so
stay away from
organized.
people.
Here in
I
Atlanta, it
paired
was
up with
so
my
organized.
neighbor.
It was amazing. I did not wait more than 15 minutes.
If you're
And
over
then
65,
perfect.
or you find somebody who is like your neighbor,
Yeah.
you get to go in early before regular customers can go in, and there's no line. So
Right.
that's
They still honor the convenience shopping. They do.
Yeah.
I
I
just went
think
in
we
with my
stopped
neighbor.
it here in Philly.
So anyway, all right,
Okay.
ladies,
And
I have to. This was a great session, guys.
now that we
don't
talked
know
about
what a
food, I'm going to
Wawa
have
is.
lunch.
What is Wawa? It's a gas station that has food.
But good food. Good
Do they
food.
Wawa,
WAH?
every Wawa that's on a corner, there's a 7-Eleven on the other corner. It's like every time they build a Wawa here with the gas station on the other corner, now comes 7-Eleven with their gas station. It's like
Never
they're
heard
trying
of
to
it.
get
WAWA or WA?
Yes.
Yeah, how is
Wawa.
WA. But again, Lynn, I would drive to New Jersey to go to Wawa instead of going to a 7-Eleven.
Huh.
It's a personal preference. When they built one in Fort Myers, Florida, when I was living there, I was the happiest person. I almost went to the grand opening also.
I don't go to 7-Eleven either.
I've never been there. I have to go because Dr. DeMarco one of these days is going to ask me if I've ever gone to Wawa, and I haven't.
Oh my God, you need to go.
I know.
Ours, we have Stop and Go. I'll go to
Yes.
Stop and Go
Yeah.
instead of 7-Eleven anytime.
Yeah.
We have Quick Trip,
Quick Trip.
but I've heard of, we have Stop and Goes here too. But Quick Trip is the Southern Wisconsin giant right now.
Yeah.
And then we have junior markets here too. Junior market.
I want someplace. I want a Wawa. I want to go someplace.
Yeah.
You really want, and Wawa, they play music when you're getting your gas. I mean, it's like really hip. And they got
I like the name Wawa. I just like it. I like
Wawa.
the name is
like
funny.
mama, Wawa.
I need to get Wah, wah.
Exactly.
Oh,
Do you have a Wawa?
Been around a long time though.
Hey, I hear a Wawa gift card in the store for somebody. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
That's hilarious.
Christmas. No.
Hey, ladies,
Wawa gift cards for everybody.
joking. Y'all,
I gave them to the residents.
Shannon, don't go. Don't go. I just had an idea. Do y'all think we should do a Secret Santa and a gift draw? For
Oh, I would
everybody
have no problem with that.
on Zoom
We
and
could do that.
Sure. What do you think?
Sure.
Especially since everybody likes Wawa, we could just get gift cards.
Exactly.
No
'cause
Wawa
I
for
want
me
a
out here. What
Wawa.
am I supposed to do with my
I don't have
Wawa?
Wawa.
Yeah, well, then you'd have
So-
to drive to Virginia to get.
We could send out to the
I would
group
love to come to Virginia.
a
That's on
thing that says who wants to participate in a Secret Santa.
That would be
Get all
great.
the names of the people, and then we could match people up or whatever.
Yeah, and
Jenny,
don't you
You're
have
in
an
charge.
automatic matcher
I
thing?
vote Jenny's in charge of the Secret Santa.
You're welcome.
I agree.
We like to do
You're in
that.
charge.
I am there. It was my, yes, I will take.
Doing your good ideas.
Thank
Yes.
you. I just didn't know what a Wawa was, but when you said
Okay.
you wanted a card, I'm thinking, why can't we do a Secret
Yeah.
Santa and that person could get you a card?
I would love a card too. I actually we have what's called campus currency. So we get gifts from our chairman. It's like $100.
Uh-huh.
And you can use it not just on campus, but you can use it in Wawa. And we have a Wawa.
No
on
joke.
campus. Yes. Oh yeah.
I'm kidding.
So
I
free
am
stuff.
feeling very Wawa deprived right now.
Me too.
Oh.
I'm feeling
Yes.
everything deprived right
Keep
now.
looking it up
Exactly.
online. now.
Except the cheese.
Shannon, you got to look it up.
I know.
Come to Philadelphia. I'll take you to Wawa.
Do they have?
Yeah, I think we all need to go to Wawa and take a picture of ourselves, a selfie,
Yeah.
and send it to Shannon.
Exactly. I can take you to the first
It's all
Wawa
one
ever.
word.
Oh, wow.
First Waffle
Yeah.
House ever. I'll do that.
Yes. Yes. It's in Delaware County.
Is
It's
it
in the
all one
suburbs.
word like this? Is this the logo? The little
Yes, that's it.
Wawa?
That's
Oh, so it's
it.
together. For some reason, I thought it was wah. But
No.
it's Wawa.
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 Wah, wah.
Wah, wah. We're going to start saying that from now on. That's going to be our mascot saying or whatever. Wah, wah. All right. I got to go.
Yeah.
I gotta
Me too.
go.
Great day.
Bye, Dee. Bye.
Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for everything you
I'll
guys do.
post
Hopefully,
the
hopefully we
video.
learned something from interviews.
Thank
It
you.
even says Wawa, the meaning. What does it mean? Wawa is defined as baby talk.
That's why we like it.
Exactly.
I love this.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye,
guys.
Thank you so much. This is great.
Lynn and Denise, I will post this on the YouTube channel
Wunderbar.
shortly.
Thanks, guys.
Sounds
Okay,
good. And if you
take care.
if you can send us the list of attendees, then we'll split it up.
I will do that too.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sounds awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Okay.
for everything.
Sure. Thank you too. All right.
Yep,
It was
bye.
great. Thanks. Bye.